Hi, this is Laura. So, we on Monday went over in our live all about Tabletop Simulator. Unfortunately, Discord has some limitations in how many people could be in the room at that time, so I decided to even make a video here that's going to be a lot more concise and also probably a lot more helpful to many people. So, I'm first going to show you how I make a card in a simple format called Google Slides. You all have access to this. And when I want to make a card, I start a new presentation and I go to File, Page Setup. I'm going to set that to be the width of a normal playing card, 2.5 by 3.5 inches. Now, this can be any size or any width that you want, and it will also work in the game that way. So, I just made my back of my card is a rabbit, and my front of my card is a rabbit. Then I'm going to show you also how I would make for a deck of cards. So I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to change up my rabbit. Do rabbit +2. And change my picture, replace the picture with a different Google Images of a rabbit. This is a great way just to find anything that you need. I'm going to do this guy as my other picture. So we have rabbit +1, rabbit +2. If I would like these files, I have to download each one singularly in Slides. There are other formats that will let you do it easier. You can do them as a JPEG or a PNG that usually likes PNG better, Tabletop Simulator. So I'm going to download one of my files as a PNG. Then I am going to take it from my downloads. Good practice is to rename them. So I'm going to call this Rabbit 2. And I'm going to put it in my Rabbit folder. This is where I'm going to keep my cards. Okay, so when we open Tabletop Simulator, now I will also, since I have time, I can also show you how to do this on playingcards.io. I'm going to make a different video for that one though. So we're going to go to Create and Single Player. Under Single Player, we can select anything here. I can select a game that I've been currently working on, but mostly I'm going to go to Classic, and then you can go to anything you'd like. I'm going to do Custom. This is going to pull up a lot of stuff you don't need right now. So I'm just going to delete everything I see here. I don't need this. Okay, so I'm going to go to Objects and Component. And I'm going to show you how to add a card, a tile, and a token. So for a card, we're going to go to Components, Custom, Card, and it is going to pull up a custom card. You can select what size you would like this to be, or shapes if you're trying to get something different. But I'm going to pick the face of my card. I'm going to do that as a rabbit. And the back of my card, I'm going to have my little rabbit here. Now you'll see upload file to Steam Cloud from local or from cloud. You're going to want to do cloud because that's the only way it will work in multiplayer, like online. And see here, we have a card. We can flip the card. The card can go into people's hands. Totally usable. This same area is going to be used for tiles and for tokens. So tiles can be front and back. They can be any size you like. So I'm going to have my top image be the same bunny, and the bottom image be the same bunny. And you can make them stackable. So let's say you're trying to do a Carcassonne style game. You'll have this. And let's say you just need a lot of the same. You can trace over it and right click and copy, or click Control-C. And if you need the same thing of a file, you can just do clone and clone a bunch of them. And that can make a stack. So if you have a lot of the same, this is really good for making stacks of things. And then for a token, it's going to be very similar, but it just has one image. I'm just going to choose this one bunny image. And you can make this stand up or be stackable. I'm going to make it stand up. So this would be good for standees or figurines. Same thing with your figurine. You can add a picture. That's how you add one singular card to the game, one singular token, one singular tile. The same thing would work for a singular board as well. So if you select board, you can add any image that you want. Now, even though your game might have something that happens with the board, is if you right click it, it will always be locked to where it is when it drops. I like to unlock it. And you'll notice that everything has like a size that it comes in. You can play with the size a little bit with how your files are located and how your files are sized, but the best way to change any of the size of your items is by, you're going to right click, or you're going to scroll over, right click. You can scale up and down to make it smaller or bigger. And that's how you can do that. And now we can move this tile around to this board. So now we're going to go into how to make a deck of cards. And a deck of cards is using something called the TTS deck editor. I'm going to show you how to do the deck editor. So you're going to have to leave Tabletop Simulator. I'm just going to press the Command Win button, and I'm going to go to my computer, into my local disk, my program files, x86, and then to my Steam apps, my common files, and under Tabletop Simulator, under modding, you will find Deck Builder. Now, this is just how I do it. Many people have different ways. So I'm going to go to the TTS deck editor.xex. It is going to pull up this program. It does 10 by 7. It is its normal width and height. And what you're going to do is you're just going to drag whatever pictures you want to use for your deck. So I'm going to put one bunny here, another bunny, one bunny, another bunny, for however many you need. I'm going to do 10 cards. Okay. So once we have our deck of cards, we can go all the way up to 70. We can go to File. We can save the deck so we can work with it again. So I can call it Rabbit. Then I'm going to export it. It is going to export it as a PNG file, but you're going to be able to use this. So here's my PNG. I'm now going to go to Custom. Actually, I'm going to go to Custom Deck. And in my custom deck, my face is going to be that long string of cards. Rabbi. Now let's say each of these cards has a unique back. What you would do is you'd make a second set of cards with what it needs to be in the back. And so 1 would match up with 1, 2 would match up with 2, and that. So if you just click unique backs, you would just use a different picture. So let's say we wanted everybody to have a unique picture. Everybody has a different one. We could do that. But I am just going to do one singular file for my backs. This makes it really easy. You just need one picture. You can change the number of cards. Since I only had 10 cards in my deck, I'm only going to have that. Any cards besides that are going to look, what's the word? Black. Okay, they've now been dropped in. You have a deck of cards at the front and the back. And you can make those unique backs just by using a second deck as the back of the card. With this, you can add them all together, you can shuffle them. By right-clicking, you can, where is it? Get this guy out of here. We're going to shuffle them together. You can shuffle, and you can spread these out. Okay, so the next question a lot of people had was about snap points and how to get places to go where they want to go, as well as how to navigate the system itself. So I'm going to give you an example of one of the games I would have and how you would navigate. So if you just leave this, it is going to automatically save. I don't always trust that though. So sometimes I will click Games, Save and Load, and save it as a different file. So I'm going to call this Rabbit. So that way, when I go back to main menu, I can find it very easily. Create a single player game, and I'm going to pull up Save and Load. Can we find my rabbits? Yeah, pirate, not rabbit though. Interesting. But I still have my custom autosave deck, so it was automatically saved over here. So I'm going to pull up a game that I created. Or I didn't create this game, but I made this for someone else. And it has a lot of different cool icons. So this is a game I made called Mango Mango. This is a game I made for somebody's Kickstarter. And it has square cards. And these cards all what happened to my snap points? I swear these had snap points. Let's go back. Oh, it's in my workshop. Workshops are where you put your like finalized games, like really done games. So Mango Mango is there with all of its snap points. Now a snap point means that a tile, instead of it like going anywhere on the board, can snap into location. It's really helpful if you're doing a tile placement game. So a way to do a snap is you'll see if I go to this bottom little green dot, anywhere you place a green dot, cards will snap to it. They'll kind of automatically click into place. This is really helpful for when you're trying to have like things go up around the board as well. I have my cards here. I have two decks of cards. One is square, one is rectangular, as well as I created a custom PDF here that would be able to, so players could read the rules of the game. This is much later. You don't need this yet. But if you would like to do snap points, you can do that right here by adding in little dots wherever you need them. It's pretty simple. And if you need to get rid of them, you can just double click it. So that is how snap points work. Now we also talked about hidden information. So there is a way to hide information if you are playing a game with someone else and they go down the third one. There are hidden zones where you can hide stuff inside so people can't see it. So if I'm playing as green, I'm looking from this way. And if I created a hidden zone, I can see what's in the zone, but no one else can. So I'm going to show you how to do that where someone else made a little box in my zone, but I don't want someone else in my zone. See, I created a little green box, and it hides things in my zone. If I pretend to be red, I can't see what's in his box. And that's very helpful. Okay, so one more thing I want to go over with you is how you can open games, how you can add different objects to it. So, under your components, there are many different objects you can choose. Tabletop Simulator is a little bit different to how your game is actually going to be made. Some things work better in Tabletop Simulator on an online space. So here, this is a counter where it goes around a board. Ideally, though, if you're just playtesting, under tools, there are things called counters. And you can change the counter amount. Same thing with dice. You can add whatever dice you need, spinners, anything you need. Pawns, it doesn't need to look exactly like your game. Now, someone mentioned about writing. Now, writing is a little bit more complex. There are note cards where you could hide information. And that is under Tools, and you can right-click the note card. And you can fill in information like so anything you want to type, you can type in there, right in that bottom zone. And then you could hide it if you're looking for hiding different words. Is there anything else that you would need to know? Well, this is a little bit farther down the line, and I'm going to end it very soon here, just so this is helpful. But something you can do is at the end, what I do is I upload my games. If I ever want to play test them, I upload the workshop. So workshop games, they have a title, they have a description, they need a photo, and then you can upload them. These become like little mods that you can look at on the, they become like games other people can pick up and play, and these are really good for playtesting. So if someone wants to try out your game, this is a great way of doing it if you're not with them. But if you're with them, you don't have to worry about that. And one last thing I want to show you is how you can play a game with somebody. In case you haven't used Tabletop Simulator before, the best way you can do that is if you go to Create Multiplayer, you can make a server. You can place how many players are in there. You can make a name, a password. You can make it so only people can be invited. You can make it public. You can create a server, pick out your game. I'm going to pick my game Bookin' It that I last used. And then I would wait for somebody to join me, or you could invite your friends. This is great for helping you to playtest your games. I hope you enjoyed this light tutorial of Tabletop Simulator, and I hope that you get some insight out of it. I'm also going to be doing playingcards.io really quick, okay? Thank you.